Hi, Cheryl from Garden in the Borough, gardening here in Central Mass in my zone 5B 6A garden. And today we're going to talk about a plant that many of you are familiar with and grow or try to grow lots of, and that's heuchera. So that's this plant down here in the front, and this is a variety called Palace Purple. And this Palace Purple has been in my garden for over a dozen years, and I use it as an edging in a lot of places in this garden area. We're on the side of my house, and we have some little mini rock walls here, and this plant makes up the edging of a lot of it. And one of the things about growing heuchera is when you go into the nurseries in springtime, you will see so many new varieties that have been released, and they have such cool leaf shapes and leaf coloration and veination. A lot of them have green mottled with red, and they're all very stunning plants. But the problem is overwintering them. This one, not only does it overwinter, but it seeds itself readily. So I've added so many more of this plant as time has gone on. So what's the secret to knowing which ones are going to be winter hardy in your garden? Well, if you go to Chicago Botanic Gardens website, they have a lot of comparative studies, and they'll take different plants and they trial them usually for 5 years. They've done a number of different species. One of the first ones I ever read was on garden phlox. And they did one, and granted, this study is a little old, and they've used older varieties that were released more in the 90s, but they rated them, and this one sits in the top 6. And all the ones in the top 6, other than one called Molly Bush, all received the same rating of excellence in everything, in winter hardiness, in garden presence, all the things that they rated them on. So you can go to that, and the PDF is readily available to the public, and you can click on it and you can see the varieties, and you can actually print it out and bring that with you to the nursery and look for some of those varieties. If you want to add more that have been released since that study has come out that weren't part of that study, always ask your friends and neighbors that are gardeners. Your gardening friends are your best resource for finding out what plants are good to add into your garden, especially if you're a newbie. And if you see one that they've had for years that has been coming back reliably year after year and not behaving more like an annual than a perennial, then that's one that you want to add. So just ask them the name and then take that name to the nursery. So again, this one is called Palace Purple, and very reliable and very garden worthy plant. Happy gardening.